Welcome back to Wargaming.net Gold League, the best of the best in America. The top 16 teams will be playing for the next 3 weeks. I'm Clutch, joined on the set by Rookhill. And our first matchup is going to be No Limit versus Refuse to Die. We're going to have the face-off ready in just a second. No Limit has 2 losses so far, one against Simple Tankers in a series they felt they should have won. It was a tough loss on Ruinberg when Simple Tankers had most of their aggressive fire to the north, was able to clean them up. And I'm going to ask them a question about mines, because Squirrel Tag was going towards Hammer Time, battle number 2, and they had won the brawl battle, but those 2 T1s from Hammer Time dodged one of the shots from Squirrel Tag, and then Squirrel Tag was unable to get there in time to stop.
Just the little things like that. T1s can bring out a battle, and we've seen it many times. We've seen times when you just lose the brawl, but you win in a cap. Stuff happens. It's really got to hurt, though. It's really got to rattle.
It's tough. It's tough, but they're up against top tier, or they're up against Refuse to Die, who lost to top tier. Top tier with some intriguing gameplay again, 3 T-32, some Prohorovka going across the railroad tracks, pushing into the east. It worked for them against Refuse to Die. Did not work so well against Fulcrum Gaming because Fulcrum kept their AMX 1390s up on the hillside, and Soviet pushed in.
They're a little more prepared, I think.
Well, but I think also they watched. I'm pretty sure that they watched top tier to know what type of play they're going to bring. And once they saw those 3 T-32s again, they went, okay, we're going to use that hill play.
Yeah, everyone watches. Every single pro is probably in the chat right now watching this, making sure, because you have to study your opponent. If you don't, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah, it's a great advantage for you to have to study the game film, and it's very important. Let's jump into the face-off. The first one for tonight, No Limit versus Refuse to Die. Good evening, gentlemen.
Yo. How you guys doing?
Refuse to Die, Baggins, let's start with you.
Sure.
Tough loss against top tier. Again, we were just talking about those T-32s being used, coming across a railroad track, so that must have been a surprise for you guys. After that loss, what have you been doing to prepare for your match against No Limit?
You know, a lot of more of the same. I think we just kind of went back to what we're comfortable with. The last game we had against top tier, I think we kind of, caught ourselves out because we got used to them bringing heavy tanks. So we thought, oh well, they're going to bring heavy, so let's bring heavy because we like to be mobile. So we brought heavy, and it kind of hurt us when we were on cliff because we were so slow. We weren't able to take advantage of our early lead. 2 of our 32s got caught out.
It's a tough choice to make, but sometimes the choices make the most difference in the middle of the matchup because of the mobility versus the heavy tanks. And as a team leader, do you feel it's your responsibility for those choices, or is it more of an individualistic team effort?
I think usually I try to make a bunch of the decisions as far as like macro managing, but when it comes to people actually playing in game, that's all on them. I just try to find good compositions, good setups, but at the same time, if Floppy was on my team, I'd never put him in a T1 because I just know it's not his thing.
Oh.
Shots being fired already. Floppy Giraffe, you guys, I'll let you patch up those wounds in a bit here, but you guys, you said you knew you'd won the matchup against Simple Tankers. It was an unfortunate loss. Hammer Time, it was a good series. What happened on mines? What happened with those T1s and Squirrel Tag?
I don't know. So I guess we had, 40 seconds, I think, after we'd wrapped up the fight before the cap would have actually finished. Supposedly, Squirrel Tag only had 1 shot left. Don't know why he reloaded. He didn't reload, but he had plenty of time to. But some things are just heat of the moment. Can't fault anyone for that. I died with 1 shot in my T1. Like, literally, my potential damage was 12 from a T1.
Yeah, you got crewed out, right?
Yeah, with 1 shot. That was it. And so I think, and then Compton was he ended up taking a poor route because he was stuck coming down the cliff into the water. And water just slows you down like crazy, so.
All right, well, that's in the past. Let's focus on the present.
Exactly.
Floppy Giraffe, No Limit. Any words for your opponent Refuse to Die?
Damn, I wasn't expecting that T1 comment, so I got nothing really. Literally, all I got is my shirt here. Inigo Montoya from The Princess Bride. Anyone?
You killed my father.
Prepare to die.
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Great film. Great film. All right, Refuse to Die. Baggins, anything to say to No Limit before we start off this match?
No, it's always fun when we get a chance to meet them. I mean, it's hardly our first time fighting them, so I'm looking forward to it.
No Limit, you have the higher seed. Heads or tails on the coin flip?
Well, Tails has failed for the both other guys that have picked, so I'm going to pick Tails as well.
He's going to pick tails. And
Yeah.
They threw the graphic up. I don't
they threw the graphic up, but it's tails, so we'll give it to you. So
Yeah.
no limit. Will you do some math or defer?
We're going to take Ensk, please.
Ents will be the map choice. Refuse to die, north or south?
We'll take the north side.
North side on Ensk for Refuse to Die. No Limit will spawn to the south. Gentlemen, best of luck. See you on the
Thank
battlefield.
you.
Thank you.
See you there.
All right. Our coin flipper getting a little trigger happy there.
Yeah.
But they can't see the coin flip, so, it still counts.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, it was in the air when he called it, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, No Limit.
And as we take a look at the tanks, we've got a 110, two 5100s, and two IS-3s for the side of No Limit. Refuse to Die will also be sporting two 110s, a 5100, an IS-3, and an Object 416. Give you three guesses where that Object 416 is going, Clutch.
Railroad.
Precisely.
That's one guess.
It's probably right, Clutch. I'm just gonna say you're correct. You get points for that one.
Awesome.
I don't know what those points are for, but you get them. It's like Whose Line?
I miss Whose Line. I haven't watched any of the new
It's
episodes.
back, Clutch.
I know,
It's back.
but I miss Drew Carey.
Yeah, he was silly and self-depreciating, which is funny.
East a bit coming out of the one medium tank, and that's a bag of kittens. He's not going railroad. He's going
Well, he's
east.
on a railroad,
It-
but he's going to the lumberyard.
Exactly. So it's not going to completely count. But that
You
is
get half credit.
That is a intriguing choice of where he's going to go, because where the 1T1, I believe, for No Limit is set on the tracks, they would have proxy scouted within that 50-kilometer or that 50-meter range. 50-kilometer range, wow, that went really far. That 15-meter range, you would have seen that coming down the way, and that would have been a bit of an open play for them to swing around and get some shots against them.
Yeah.
Not going to be the case, so using that east side, it looks like the rest of Refuse to Die could possibly push the rest of it. But look at the positioning of one of the T1s here. Not Foster Kid, but Higher Gun, right
Ooh.
here in this window. And that allows him to see if there's going to be a push happening up the west.
That's a
This is-
pretty solid position.
Exactly. This is where one of the T1s should have been for the Cazadores.
Yeah, and he's got, look at the escape routes he has. He can safely get away in that keyhole. He's got some nice ranges to spot, but there are some blind spots, of course. Oh, he is
Then he
spotted out.
dodges one of the IS-3 shots, and he falls back. This is going to be a very crucial decision for Refuse to Die, whether to continue for most of their heavy tanks to go to the south. They are keeping one of the heavy tanks back a little bit, and that is World War II Fanatic, and he's going to move back over to a defensive position. But look at No Limit. They're
Oh.
pushing back.
Bag of Kittens is able to take down Son of Hail, and before that even happened, No Limit was already sending some of their heavies back. They are in full retreat right now in preparation for a base defense. They saw this coming. They didn't see Refuse to Die tanks in the north, and so they're going to defend their cap. Getting ready, they got a 5100 static and Squirrel Tag kind of lined up hidden. Now they're going to advance a little bit further to the north, Durasa.
I really like
Into the
what
rear.
Refuse to Die is doing here, because now they're sending up one of their heavy tanks to the north to try to counter a potential push on the north side from No Limit. No Limit is going to have one of their heavy tanks go to the north. However, because of the distance, those two heavy tanks, if they commit from Refuse to Die by moving over to the east and looking down that railroad track, that heavy tank has nowhere to go initially for No Limit.
We're about to run into possibly an engagement, though, with the T1s. I'm thinking it's Floppy Giraffe and Hired Gun might engage in the north in T1s. You've got Durasta kind of cutting off the retreat of this T1 as a Floppy Giraffe is kind of hunting around for him. If Floppy can get this T1, you've got a really large potential lead. Or actually, you're going to even it up, and maybe Floppy Giraffe could be used to put some counter cap pressure on the inevitable pressure you're going to see.
That is the only
Refuse to Die.
Western
And
eyes
there
and
is-
ears, and Squirrel Tag pushes in. And the 5100s, both of them fire. That's, even though they get the kill, that's a little bit dangerous, because now both these 5100s are down a shot, 5 instead of 6.
Yeah, and that Squirrel Tag should be reloading, maybe static, or staggering it would be a good idea. One of them reloads, the other holds on to his fewer shots. Then they will have shots no matter what if an engagement happens, and they'll be able to get someone in late to the party to clean up. Yeah, it's a little dangerous, but it's what happens when you waste shots on a T1 like that.
You'd have to be very careful. The 5100 was actually close enough. He could have gone for a ram damage, but that leaves him a little bit exposed if down that corridor they had a potential shot. That's not going to be the case. And looking at the map spread, this is now moved into a defensive position for Refuse to Die on the east end, a defensive position for No Limit, but they're close enough to have a reverse counterattack down that railroad line if there's a crossover from Refuse to Die.
Well, the thing is, it's really dangerous to do that right now. Look, with the coverage that we see, big spotting actually happening right now. World War II Fanatic is spotted by a floppy draft who's gotten passive in a nice bush right outside the cap. With this, you have great coverage. I hadn't actually thought about this position. I don't remember this bush being here. It must have been added in one of the more recent patches. Because with this position, a floppy giraffe is actually going to be able to have great coverage. He even spots World War II Fanatic again out at, maybe that's 300 meters, somewhere about there. And maybe we could see DeRosta or Static move up and get some free shots through some of these destructible buildings into members of Refuse to Die that are hiding back there. And World War II Fanatic will be, again, he's targeted.
He's looking to find who is targeting him. Where is it coming from?
Yes.
And he's jumping between cover of these buildings, but now a southern push is going to happen from T1s in the object 416. Bag of Kittens leading the charge.
But Picnic Basket, Squirrel Tag, and Urtai are kind of caught out. We could see a huge overmatch in the south because IS-3s in the north are still... Wow, there's the engagement. Anubis, Colonel Angus, and Valkyrie Bewas are just going to get to tear Squirrel Tag apart, and he will go down with no return fire.
Nice concentrated fire coming out of Refuse to Die, and a Bag of Kittens is in a sweet position in that object 416. That's going to cause a turret break for that 110 if he focuses on him, but no, he goes down the line against the other 110. I'm going to stick with the Bag of Kittens here as he focuses on that 110, goes for the reverse angle. Shot from the 110 does hit hard at 860 out of 1200, and 658 for that 110 as he's going to back up. Foster Kid in the T1 could be a thorn in the side. He's going to continue with the flag
Picnic
capture.
Basket does go down to Valkyrie Bewas, Anubis, and Colonel Angus. But look at the cap, 1 minute and 5 seconds in the north, and in the south, 1 minute 23. Urtai is looking to stop that cap. He is engaged with the Bag of Kittens still.
Bag of Kittens brings Urtai down to 79 HP. This is going to be difficult for Bag of Kittens if he does bounce a shot. Colonel Angus comes around to the side for a flank, and now they can position themselves to continue the flag capture with 43 seconds left to go. They need to get themselves up to the north to stop that. As Foster Kid backs up in his T1 to start the flag cap himself.
But DeRosta is 1v1ing Valkyrie Bewas. I believe I may have just seen a bounce from Valkyrie Bewas onto DeRosta. And with that, DeRosta has a chance to come back in this fight. As Valkyrie Bewas is turned sideways, DeRosta has a huge advantage here. He's got 156 hit points left, but the cap, 19 seconds left. Static with 21 hit points. DeRosta, can he stop Valkyrie Bewas?
No Limit could hold this out with 12 seconds, 11 seconds now on the clock. Static in the 5100 simply needs to track him, but no, he falls. The 110 getting closer. Floppy Giraffe trying to fall from the 110 from Foster Kid, and it is a reset.
Foster Kids reset the cap from mid-map. He is in Echo 4, and he barely made those shots. Really difficult shots, and he gets only 1 or 2 connections. That's all he needs, though. And he has reset the cap, and he has saved the game for his team.
Very, very close, but nice shot from the T1, and there's the final kill. Refuse to Die gets battle number 1. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 2. It's going to be on Himmelsdorf. Refuse to Die is up 1-0 against No Limit.
And as we take a look at these tanks, we have 3 5100s and 2 IS-3s. For the side of No Limit, on the side of Refuse to Die, we've got 2 110s, 2 5100s, and an IS-3. They're really loving these 110s.
They are, and they're seeing the performance work for them in battle number 1. Why not bring 2 of them?
Yeah, it's really cool to see
Twice
the
the
meta
price.
shift a little bit, because it was so hard to see teams implement that. There were just so much resistance. Players were used to the IS-3. They said it was better. It has its advantages, but we're seeing it come out. We're seeing it get used.
It's the frontal charges. It's the frontal charges of these better Shukas, you could say.
Yeah, the Shuka is
The
stronger.
stronger Shuka of the Colonel Angus. The Shuka is Russian for pike nose guys. That's what they have for this 110. 110 is a Chinese variant of the IS-3. The IS-3 has the same Shuka design, just as you can see to the front. The 110 is stronger, more pointier, tip of the spear more, and for that reason, some players like to bring that angle. But if you incorrectly angle your tank to the front, you lose the benefit of defend that Shuka. And let's go ahead and jump over to where Fosta Kid is. In the courtyard, he does spot Durasa in the 5100.
But Static is looking for the shot. He's not able to line up a shot on the one line on the T1 there. Oh, Hired Gun is spotted. And Floppy Giraffe kind of crosses for a second. I thought Floppy might have taken some team fire. But he's going to try and move out along the red line. He's just taking as much cover as he can. This is actually a really cool way to stay safe. And there's the shot. Static is able to take out Hired Gun on the one line. And also in the middle, are we about to see a T1 get taken down over there? Actually, Urtai does not know that Fosta Kid is in the mid. He doesn't know he's right there. And
But this is really important for Fosta Kid with this information. He's not seeing anything near that flag cap and nothing around the corner, which is going to allow the rest of his team moving up take alley. And they're going to turn that corner, the 5100 smartly. One of them to the back, the other one next to the IS-3 as World War II Fanatic leads the charge. The 110s can now break up the charge.
And Urtai spots it all. He spots everything. But he takes a hit for it. He's actually really pinned here. If he tries to escape this position, he's not going to have a good time. And it's hard to turn around in this position, so he's not going to be able to get his Shuka forward. He may be able to use some of his spaced armor, but that's going to be difficult as... Oh, Picnic Basket takes huge hits as he peeks around the corner.
Valkyrios took a huge hit to the front, 1166 at a 1550 on his 110.
Oh, but it's worth it, Clutch.
Oh, of course it was worth it, but the World War II Fanatic IS-3 is up in front. This battle buddy, dual mechanic, now they're sparking against each other. Calm down, guys. The IS-3 Picnic Basket is spotted once again. Valkyrie Viewers may have a shot. World War II Fanatic's going to have to be careful. He's going to go out first to try to block a shot against his battle buddy, but the repositioning is happening from No Limit as 2 of their heavy tanks are going to go to the north and 3 are going to stay down that delta line.
Yep, Squirrel Tag is looking for shots as Anubis is moving back to the south. Doesn't look like he's able to find him yet. Squirrel Tag's looking for that shot. This is a place where No Limit could take back an advantage, even up the health pool, but they're not able to do it. Squirrel Tag is going to leave his previous position and join team members slightly to the north.
Fosta Kid's going all the way to the south, going to the flag cap, and he's going to be pushing west. Floppy Giraffe in the T1 is spotted for him. He could engage there and help to secure the southern position of the map, meaning that a flank could come in down the 3 line. 4 refuse to die if they keep the 2 tanks, or at least 1 tank, occupied on the D line. However, 3 of the heavies are moving up to about the 5-6 area and the Alpha Bravo quadrant, and they're going to be coming down either 7 or the 8 tank alley line. And the T1's going to cruise across. Looks like he may try to scout a bit of a sacrificial play, but they could be going across the courtyard.
But look at this. At the same time, Static, Squirrel Tag, and Durastar are in a 3 hit squad, and they're approaching from the north. We could actually see Refuse to Die walking into a surrounded position as 5100s are going to get a chance to unload onto the backs and sides of those tanks in the courtyard. Although Anubis is able to maybe ward this off. Shots fired, no connections yet. Squirrel Tag zeros, Anubis backs off. But now the corner is controlled. Oh, look at these hits onto Anubis, down to 809.
Anubis is in trouble, but this is going to be a push right into Urtai. He's at 453. This is 3-on-2 on different sections of the map. And now World War II Fanatic and Valkyrie View Us are in trouble. Valkyrie in the 110 taking some huge shits from behind, and he falls. He was caught out of position.
In a crossfire,
in the 110
walked into
on
it.
The other side. A huge crossfire. Anubis taking another big hit in the 5100.
Yeah, he is forced to back off, or else he risks losing his tank. Urtai has got to take cover. He is delicious bake as a Picnic Basket, or a Bag of Kittens is actually going to come around looking for that kill. He puts it into a Picnic Basket, though, and he may get a second one, but it bounces onto Urtai.
Urtai is still in trouble at low HP. Bag of Kittens at 257 out of 1400. There's too many heavy tanks for him to deal with. Anubis is able to get the kill against Static, and here comes the IS-3 around the corner. Bag of Kittens may be reloading.
Yeah, it looks like he must be. Picnic Basket, though, can put only 1 shot into him, and that's all he needs to get the kill. Bag of Kittens is getting into cover. Colonel Angus has to save his battle buddy right now. He has to get that crucial track shot in order to save a Bag of Kittens. Maybe long enough that he can get 1 or 2 more hits off. Oh, maybe Bag of Kittens is reloaded. As Colonel Angus takes the hit, a Bag of Kittens comes around the corner, and he is loaded. He finishes him off.
Nice shot. Colonel Angus, however, took a lot of damage in that engagement. He did pull that shot out of that tank, so he would take the damage instead of Bag of Kittens. Good heads-up play.
But here comes Jarasta in the 5100, and he zeroes a shot, bounces onto Colonel Angus. Second shot, will it connect? He actually gets a Bag of Kittens. Brilliant choice right there. Third shot into Colonel Angus, finishing him off with final shot. Now it is a 2v1.
Before that, the tables had turned. The 5100 of Anubis, who is in the firefight for a long time, is trying to dodge a shot from way across the way here. He's not able to. That shot rings right into the front of his tank. And now Squirrel Tag coming around the corner, sees the tank, and he gets the kill. No Limit has one tank to destroy. That is a T1 with 3 minutes and 48 seconds on the map. This will be a victory for No Limit.
Really well played. That is an incredible brawl. Happenstance stuff from No Limit. Great use of that hit squad. That 5100 hit squad was going around for one flank, but they turned it into another. They flowed very well and improvised properly. Fosterkid is spotted by DeRosta, zeroes the shot, misses.
And
the
the
final
T1 tries to stay alive here. The flag cap's going down at the minute 33. There's not going to be any chance for him to escape as DeRosta and the 5100 gets closer to Fosterkid. Can either crash into him or shoot. It's going to be a crash. T1 falls, and No Limit takes battle number 2. Let's go ahead and jump into the game. Battle number 3, No Limit versus Refuse to Die on Ruinberg.
Time moving along the one line. We'll be closing and tightening the noose to put on cap pressure. Valkyrie Vewas takes a huge hit.
Now that was a really good play coming out of No Limit, putting on the fake pressure and making the rest of Refuse to Die move to the south. Now they can approach from both sides, and this is going to be an isolation play once again. DeRosta and the 5100 is going to unload on these 1390s and the other 5100. Anubis moves to the north. He's going to focus on his 1390, but now he turret breaks, and Urtai gets the kill. And the rest of these tier 8s are going to be in a firefight with the 5100s and the IS-3s. 53 seconds left to go, though, and the circle is going to come around for the other 1390 as Floppy Giraffe is going to try to get on the flag along with the other 1390. Picnic Basket's in some trouble, though, as Refuse to Die is going to push up in the 110 and the IS-3. The Object 416, the 110 and the IS-3, all consistent fire tanks, while the 5100 is going to try to come around. Urtai in the 1390 is far away as Object 416 Bag of Kittens tries to focus on him. Minute and 18 seconds so for one of the tanks on there. This may be a draw because of the inability to kill all the tanks on the map. And yes, the blue team No Limit is spreading out, trying to get them away.
It's not going to be
seconds.
a cap. Urtai is going to try to escape as best he can. He may be able to do it. He may be reloaded actually in time to stop a Bag of Kittens, who is the only tank left on the map that could chase him down. Everything else is too far to the south, and Urtai will be able to live. A Floppy Giraffe has run away. He's about mid-map, and Son of Hail is, well, it's too late. Draw.
It is a draw. It is a draw. We're going to analyze a bit of that game. We take a quick commercial break, guys. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. It means we're going to go into battle number 4 of No Limit versus Refuse to Die. They're still tied up 1-1 here at the Wargaming.net Gold League. Stay tuned. This is No Limit versus Refuse to Die on Mines.
And to remind you guys of the tanks, they have to be just the same. It's going to be a Bag of Kittens, Valkyrie Vewas, and T-69s, two 1390s, and a WZ-132. On the other side, a Picnic Basket and a Pershing, a T-69, two 1390s, and another WZ-132. Oh, and...
oh, no. We've just been informed that there has been another disconnect.
Yeah.
That's sorry about that, guys. Trying to figure out what's the problem is happening here.
I see...
Well, we're going.
Oh, because I was saying I see people still driving.
Looks like we're going.
We're going.
Coming in hot. Here we go. DeRosta, the 1390, is going to be leading the charge from the north towards the mines area, towards that hill. And from the south, who is leading the charge?
Well, Colonel Angus will be the first to the hill. This is going to hurt for No Limit because they're actually starting the engagement. They're going all in. 3 tanks up to the hill. World War II Fanatic tries to find a target, but no one's firing yet. DeRosta's taken a few hits, and it will be focused on DeRosta first. He will get focused down to 545, but World War II Fanatic's down to 87. DeRosta will go down first. World War II Fanatic will follow him into the grave.
Urtai at 841 out of 1100. Falls back a bit. Static is in some trouble in his WZ-132. 2 tanks coming around the corner, but Urtai tries to get the hit. He does, but he takes 2 shots from those 1390s and he falls back. WZ-132 lands another hit against Colonel Angus, and he goes back at 564 out of 1050 HP. Urtai is 1 shot away from falling, and he has 2 T-69s from the rear and 2 1390s to the front. However, he does some serious damage against Anubis, and Anubis misses his shot. Static gets the kill, but there is the shot from the T-69, and the Bag of Kittens is pushing in against that tank, and Colonel Angus at 11 HP finally gets a kill. Floppy Giraffe gets a cleanup against Hired Gun. Fosterkid wins out the matchup against Son of Hail for the T1 versus T1, and now Squirrel Tag, who looks like was the one that got
disconnected.
disconnected, is going to fall here to these T-69s.
Yeah, I don't think we can have a disconnect twice in a row. The second disconnect, you just play with it.
It is unfortunate, but that is on the rule books, I believe. Our admin takes care of that, guys, and if they inform us that that is the correct answer, they will inform us, because it takes a team to make the league happen, especially in a live environment. But now Colonel Angus is going to go around squirrel tag, last tank left alive, couple more shots, he's going to fall. That's going to be a victory for this battle for No Limit as they cleaned it up. Unfortunate again for squirrel tag, but we have to keep going. And No Limit is now up 2-1 over Refuse to Die. Defensive play. Let's go ahead and jump into battle number 5. We're still in the first match series of the night in this best of 5. No Limit versus Refuse to Die. The map is Emsk. And what do we have for tanks, Randall?
Well, for tanks, there's no surprises from Refuse to Die. They will have 2 110s and a 5100 and a IS-3. Oh, a T-69. Did not expect that. I was about to say 2 IS-3s. 3 5100s on the other side and 2 IS-3s. Bag of Kittens is definitely spotting up the mid. Gotta do it.
I'm looking forward to what type of northern approach is going to be happening from Refuse to Die, since they're on the back foot here for this series in this best of 5. If they do win this battle, it will go to a shootout. If this is a draw on Ensk, or if it's a loss, if No Limit takes it, obviously they'll have 3 wins and they'll win it out. But if it's a draw on this map, it extinguishes the 5 maps, and No Limit will have won 2-1.
Yep. And didn't a Bag of Kittens bring an Object 416 last time on this? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's decided to go with a T-69 this time, which is an interesting choice because it's an autoloader, of course. But I'm wondering what makes him change it for the south spot. Because for the north, he chose 416. For the south, he's decided on T-69. I guess they're trying to go with burst with a lineup like this because, yeah, I guess they're a little bit autoloader shy when they bring 2 110s and IS-3. So I guess they need to bring something maneuverable. They need to fill that.
You need a finisher.
Yeah.
You need a tank that can come in when you have another tank that's about 400 HP to come in and finish it, while the rest of the consistent fire tanks are either reloading or angling their armor or getting out of there. Plus, it's for me, it's the mobility as well, because it's a tank that can stay out of the front lines of the firefight, but move in if there is a flag capture, or move in to another side or one of these city blocks.
Very true. But what does Refuse to Die have to? Sorry, not Refuse to Die. I think it's No Limit have to counter that. No Limit is in the red for me.
Let's see. I have on my section, we have Urtai, Static,
Yeah,
Picnic
that's No Limit
Basket.
in the red. So unfortunately, sorry guys, we have in the top the scores are a little bit flipped. We'll
Yep,
get
sorry
that
about
fixed in just a second. Hired Gun is leading the charge in the east side of the map, so we're actually seeing east side play. It's a bit strange, Clutch. Usually you love it, but I'm not as big a fan. We'll have to see how it works out.
Well, it's the spread that I really like coming out of Refuse to Die, who again is in the blue. Bag Kitten's leading that charge, but it's where they're positioning themselves by having one of the heavy tanks staying back in a defensive play. And that, there we go, we got it fixed. Thanks, guys, in the production area. I apologize about that again. But that is going to be crucial, because if they do push in here against the flag cap, he can move to the south if they go to the north. But that one T1 that's all the way to the south, who is that that's scouting in Juliet 3?
That T1 is Fostikid, but more importantly, I think we're going to see a T1. Oh, he actually might engage with the floppy Giraffe, but in the north, Son of Hail is spotted, and he is pinned down. May go down to World War II Fanatic in the IS-3, but it looks like World War II Fanatic was unable to make a connection in the north, as it looks like Fostikid is making a run for it away from the cap, and there, we'll see a Son of Hail in the north go down.
And that's going to be the first blood on the map so far. Hired Gun low on HP, but he falls back. And here
Run,
is the
Fostikid.
trigger. Here's the trigger being pulled. Picnic Basket in the IS-3, leading the charge for the Tier 8s. He sees the T1 and lines up a beautiful shot between the building and that railroad car. Valkyrie Views in the 110. Gets hit from Dorasta.
Yeah, but he is almost all alone. There's a battle buddy somewhere behind him. This is a fight that's not too even, as there are 3 tanks that have to return home in order to help out. DeRosta will cross into the train tracks area. Valkyrie Views puts out a shot, but he's unable to connect. That is really crucial. He needs these connections early on in this engagement for his battle buddies to show up.
Now the flag caps are going down 2 up for the blue. No, now it's 1-1. 134 against 118. Shots being fired against the Bag of Kittens. Durasta going to the north in the 5100 because he is a fast-moving tier 8 to make sure that that flag cap is not going to happen. The engagement will continue to the south. Urtai, low, taking a hit from the left from a Bag of Kittens coming down the railroad tracks. Nice opening coming out of Refuse to Die in the blue. World War II Fanatic now leading the charge in the IS-3. Comes around the corner. He focuses on the T1. Focuses on the tank behind Urtai, gets that kill. World War II Fanatic's going to take a hit from Urtai, though, from the back as he turns around and focuses on the 5100. This is a smart play from World War II Fanatic.
Oh, look at that. A bounce from Colonel Angus will allow Static to live ever so slightly longer, and a Bag of Kittens has to waste a shot. It is a 3v3 still, but the health pools are in favor of No Limit.
And No Limit now with Mexibean and Durasta at full HP are going to be coming across from north to south on the east side. Durasta, not sure if he's fully reloaded, same for Mexibean, but they're going to have to be soon if they did start the reload from the north when they get to the south side. Staying close together, they're waiting for an opening, at least a little tag shot coming through one of these openings as Urtai in the IS-3 is going to draw them out a little bit, and there's World War II Fanatic pushing out. Mexibean is blocking the shot of Durasta, but he's going to continue to move forward after he takes the first shot. World War II Fanatic pushes forward again, and Durasta is able to get in closer. Maybe another shot on World War II Fanatic. No, Mexibean comes around the corner in the 1060. Oh, he takes a big hit from World War II Fanatic.
But he's going to be able to unload almost for free, and he should be able to finish off World War II Fanatic, but Urtai will sneak in a shot there, allowing Mexican to finish his shots onto Colonel Angus. But first shot's a bounce, second shot will be a connection as a shot is returned into Mexican. Oh, a reply from Bag of Kittens does not connect, but a third one does. And Colonel Angus is down to 37 hit points. Durasta will be able to finish him off. Now there's only one tier 8. That is a really solid victory for No Limit.
Blue base under attack with 1 minute and 4 seconds left to go, but it all comes down to a Bag of Kittens at 658 HP. He is in trouble. He's up against an IS-3 that has low HP, though. That T-69 reload time is, around
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
Less than 30 seconds at least. And Durasa in the 770. Of course, all the guys are at full crew skills as well, so that reduces it. But Urtai gets the kill. Bag of Kittens falls, and that's going to be a victory for No Limit, winning the series 3-1. A long series brought us to a draw. There were some unfortunate disconnects with Swirl Tag, but No Limit will take it, and that is going to be their first win so far. They've had 2 losses against Simple Tinkers and Hammer Time. I believe that's going to help them out, especially with a well-fought win taking it to Game 5.
Certainly. That brawl was exceptional on their part. They took tanks to the north. They had to stop that cap. They shut it down, and they made sure that the brawl was a little bit spaced so that it took longer. When you go face-to-face immediately right into them, you just push forward, you may have had the overmatch, but they would have probably lost out on the cap. So they did a fantastic job of understanding where they were going to actually lose out in a cap war, and then made the brawl happen slower. They really took the pacing and set the tempo for that battle. Fantastic job by No Limit.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, guys. We come back. Match number 2 of the night, Game Over versus Pub Star. Stay tuned. The Gold League for Wargaming.net will continue after this. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Gold League for World of Tanks, Wargaming.net. I'm typing in chat real quick. There is a 10-minute delay, but I'm letting everyone know in chat that Refuse to Die won the shootout against the No Limit match. It did go to a best of 5, went to all 5. They did tie it up, and Refuse to Die did win. So let me type that real quick. Shootouts can be a little bit tricky, man, with the type of tanks that people bring. We saw 2 Arties being brought one time.
That didn't work.
Didn't work as well.
No. But we had to get a different admin for it. You know, our admin is running our battles, so it took them a little while. But I'll have to go take a look at the replay because I'm sure we've got it in the back. I'll probably do something about that, tell you guys what happened, how that went down, because maybe there was a shift in the shootout meta. I'm waiting for new tanks to affect it or something in some way.
Well, Refuse to Die will take home 1 point. No Limit will take home 0 points. And